down right in this. There we go. Zoom there. A little bit. Oh, it took off. Well, our birds fluttered and flew away. So apparently Jamie has got a bird for you on the other vehicle.
I have a really awesome bird for you, and we have Jean-Dre to thank for this incredible spot of a pearl-spotted owlet. And it's making the fork-tailed drongo next to it very, very cross. Keep hearing cheeping from right next door. Not quite sure what to do with itself. And drongo, what drongo? What drongo indeed. So the fork-tailed drongo has now vanished, and this tiny little pearl-spotted owl is going to provide us with a treat. So just listen to this. Okay, so I'm going to whistle to him, and he's going to whistle back, or her. Oh! Bye! Aww! Wait, let's try this again. Did you hear that? He responded! He's calling back to me. I love pearl-spotted owlets. They are so cool. I don't know where he's gone though. I'm having a conversation. I'm having a conversation with a pearl-spotted owl. Actually, to be completely 100% honest with you, I think I might be having a conversation with a fork-tailed drongo, pretending to be a pearl-spotted owl, which is very rude, and is, of course, what fork-tailed drongos are famous for. So that was a pearl-spotted owl. I think they're my favorite owl. They're about this big, just a couple of grams. I mean, they really are. They're basically the size. Listen, are you a drongo or are you an owl? Please make up your mind. I swear that's the drongo calling. It's the best thing. Isn't that amazing? We've got one, because the pearl-spotted owlet did respond to us because they're territorial. So it wanted to intimidate us by calling back in response. But then the drongos jumped on board with the whole game. They think this is merry fun and time to practice their pearl-spotted owlet call. And they've got a whole wide variety of different calls that they make. I wish I could find one for you, but they're being a bit difficult. I'm going to try one more time. No, I think our conversation might be over. Oh well. Drongo, that was a poor attempt. I'm not even sure if you could hear that, but it was a very poor attempt. Didn't sound anything like a pearl-spotted owlet. Alright, on we go. I love pearl-spotted owlets because they are so entertaining. You can actually, if you get it right, if you do get it right, you can actually call them right up to you. You've got to be careful with bird calls. You've got to do it very carefully. First of all, I don't know if you could tell, but I was trying to whistle quite softly. That's because I don't want this little pearl-spotted owlet to think that there is some kind of giant pearl-spotted owl making the loudest call it's ever heard and fly away because it's terrified. But at the same time, I want to be able to sort of give that demonstration. Actually, now that we've left, that little pearl-spotted owlet will probably think that it won against another pearl-spotted owlet. But you do have to do that very ethically, and you've got to be careful which owls you call. And so you can call a pearl-spotted owlet, but then you don't then, if you're sitting out at night, if you're one of those very avid bird watchers, you don't then call a Varro's eagle owl. Because then, of course, you've got a really serious chance that your Varro's eagle owl is going to come and grab your pearl-spotted owl, which they do. So it's something that must be done ethically, but can be done ethically, and can be incredibly rewarding because you end up having a conversation. Sorry, they're in a flat panic, there's Franklin. You're very brave. What do you plan on doing now, little bird? I don't want to turn my engine on because I get such a fright. Oh, sorry. Beanie attack. Beanie attack. Beanie photobomb. Sorry, Deanna. I know that you did ask a question about the difference of an owlet versus an owl. And it doesn't have to do with size. Sorry, Franklin. Don't panic, don't panic. I'm just coming through. It's actually not to do with their size. It is... There's a couple of different distinctions, but I think if I remember correctly, the main one is to do with the fake ear tufts that certain owls get. Now, it's a Scops owl, which is equally as small as the pearl-spotted owl, but a pearl-spotted owlet and an African barred owlet was an owl. Oh no, now I've confused myself, Deanna. Give me a second. I'm having a moment. I'm having a moment of brain confusion. There's some crossed wires in here. But it doesn't have to do with size. That much I can tell you. It doesn't have to do with size. I'm just trying to remember which way round it is. One of those things you'll never forget. It's just right now my wires have gone confused. But it doesn't have to do with their size. And I will remember. I promise you it'll come back to me and I'll come back to your question. But that was a really, really good spot on Gendre's part. But as we drive away from my fantastic conversation, Donna would like to know what I said in our conversation. And Donna, I think I probably said something along the lines of, hello, is this territory vacant? And our little pearl-spotted owl said, no, it isn't. And I said, okay, fair enough, and I drove away. Much like this Dacre has now run away. Hello, little one, hold on. Is it going to come out into the open? I wonder if our cameraman ever sort of dread the Dacre sighting, although this is quite a nice one. They're just so incredibly nervous half the time. Little male, judging by the horns that I can see. Oh, thank you. Chose to walk into the clearing. The male has horns, the female has a mohawk. A black, spiky mohawk that sits in the middle of her head, much like my beanie is attempting to do. And essentially is a nature's way, like the warthog cheek tufts, nature's way of making her look more intimidating, like she has more weapons than she actually does. Alright, let us find out what Buffelshoek Dam has in store for us. And as I said, I'm still going to go and check that lion cub den. I haven't seen any tracks heading across in this direction. There's a chance, of course, that even if those are not her cubs at the kill, there's a chance that she's moved them either way to put them a little bit more central to the area that they're currently moving about in. How spoiled have we been with lion cub sightings, though? Between the Styx cubs and the Nkuhumas. Michael, you've asked a very pertinent question, seeing as Brent has had a day of trying to see 50 bird species throughout the sunrise and sunset safari. And Michael's question is, does anybody know how many bird species there are in the Kruger National Park? Yes, probably somebody does know how many there are. I can tell you that there's probably close to about 400. I can give you a rough estimate of how many bird species, but of course bearing in mind the wonderful thing about the Kruger National Park is how, because it's so incredibly big, it's also very long. which means that it moves through so many different types of habitat. You get some really fantastic birds very far north in an area called the Pafuri region and the Luvuvu River, right up in the north of the Kruger, where it meets up with Zimbabwe and Botswana. Zimbabwe and Mozambique. You get some interesting and totally different bird species up in those riverine forests. And then you go through Mopani, and then you will go through the southern bushveld, more savanna-like areas. There are so many different types of areas that, as a result, there's an enormous diversity of birds. Now, somebody has done research into exactly how many species of birds there are in Kruger National Park. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I could give you a rough estimate. I would say probably around 400 or so, maybe even more. And then, of course, you also get, it depends on what you count as birds of the Kruger National Park, because you also get those rare once-off sightings like the Egyptian vulture that randomly turned up in the Kruger National Park about 3 years ago, that people were flying in from all over the country to go and see. Those once-off sightings that are just a little cross in a distribution map in a bird book. Well, I'm not sure. I don't think you should really count those as towards the total number of birds in Kruger. But a very, very good question, a good point. And yes, there will be somebody out there that knows exactly how many birds or has a rough idea of exactly how many birds there are. Hello, Buffelshoek Dam. I'm going to work your magic. And also gives us a nice opportunity, like we spoke about earlier, to just see that unfortunately the very, very small amount of rain that we had has not made an enormous difference in terms of the amount of water. Oh, nice. A grey heron. Awesome, well done, Chandra. One grey heron. Almost always around Buffelshoek Dam. And then in terms of our regulars that we have come to get to know and expect at Buffelshoek Dam, we also have one hippopotamus, enjoying what little cover the dam has to offer. 2 Egyptian geese, which I may actually have parked Chandra behind a bush for. And you see that, oh no, you can't see them. 2 Egyptian geese, enjoying some time out from foraging. And then, of course, our very noisy buffalo weavers that are always in the Balanites tree, always busy, frantically nest building. It's a constant activity, despite the fact that these nests, I don't actually think these nests have grown in size since I started working here a year ago. And yet our buffalo weavers are such busy bees around them. And their intense concentration in terms of building their nests has to be vocalized at all times as they chat to each other. These really interesting bundles of what look like random bundles of sticks and twigs. Not actually the case at all. The nest of a buffalo weaver is a true engineering feat, thought out and carefully planned, with false entrances and a true entrance that is almost impossible to find. And the hapless predator that decides to attempt to raid a buffalo weaver's nest will find itself really struggling, because buffalo weavers build their nests out of thorn trees. So you can imagine what it's like trying to sneak in there, whether it's a harrier hawk. They also always build them often build them right on the edge of the branches. So for something like a harrier hawk that is an experienced nest raider, they would have to grip and try and find a way in there. Very, very tricky spot for them to get into. Snakes would have to navigate and try and find a way in. And it's constructed to actually, despite appearances, be incredibly strong. The only thing I can tell you is that you really, really, and I speak from experience, because it landed Emma, my best friend, on 3 weeks worth of antibiotics. You really don't want to walk barefoot underneath a buffalo weaver's nest, because you will find a thorn in your foot. And in Emma's case, a thorn that went right through to the bone and wound up with a terrible infection. Jean-Andre, you know about foot infection, don't you? Jean-Andre, of course, yes, Jean-Andre, of course, managed to find a rusty nail with the bottom of his foot, and as a result also had quite a serious infection. He is all better now. He's recovered, and he's managed to keep both his feet and all 10 toes. All 11 toes, I mean. Alright, on that note, we are going to send you back across to Brent, who has done a wonderful thing and managed to negotiate his way back into a very special sighting.
There we go. So, welcome back. Actually, behind that buffalo's rib cage, and I'm hoping it's going to pop out shortly, there's a cub getting really stuck into that meat. And there's actually cubs spread out all over the place. You can see about 4 or 5. And the lions have spread out quite a bit. 2 of the lionesses have moved towards the road. Apparently, while we're gone, a hyena came meandering down the road, and they went to chase it away. So we'll just wait here patiently. Look at that. Isn't that a silly looking face? That's got to be a boy. Only boys sit with their tongues out of their mouth like that. Not quite as elegant as the ladies. Oh, they are just too cute. Heavy, heavy head. Very heavy head. Are we going to go all the way down? So, just to let you know, apparently there were 3 hyena, and the average rule for hyenas stealing kills from lions is, oh, there we go, all the way down. You need 3 hyena per lioness. So, definitely not enough to put any pressure on the Nkuhumas. Oh, woke up again. And of course, being a little lion cub is dangerous with all the other predators around, like hyenas. But normally, it's other lions that are the biggest killers of lion cubs. Oh, what's the female up to? She might move the carcass a bit, or she's looking to where those other lioness went off. She's going to tug the carcass a bit. Hopefully she pulls it into a position where we can see the cub if he's feeding on the other side. There we go, there's his head popping out. Settling down to feed. Ooh! Brave vulture just landed in front of me. Now, out of all the vulture species, there is the hooded vulture. Is going, that's where it looks like they actually made the kill. Just to the left of the vulture, I can see the stomach contents. Now, with their small beak, it's not nearly as robust as the other vulture species. So they quite often will be able to pick up little scraps that the other vultures would ignore, being too small for them. So there you can see, looking around, looking around. Oh, and it's found something. See that, Dave? Found something there. Found a little... it's the stomach, the outer stomach lining. Here comes another one. Now, the lions heard that vulture land. She turned around and looked at what it was feeding off and has ignored it. If some of the bigger vulture species happen to come to the ground, the lions might not be so forgiving. Okay, oh, the cubby's coming out. Hello. Now, oh, look at that. And it looks like the cub's more playing with its food rather than eating it. Now, Alice in Ohio is wondering, do vultures only eat dead animals? 90% of their diet is made up of dead creatures. They will very, very seldom hunt. They prefer to scavenge. Where are you off to? Are we playing Stalk the Sleeping Cub? I think that's the game. Stalk the Sleeping Cub. And attack. Oh, that wasn't a very stealthy attack. So they're watching the vulture that just landed behind me. You can see their eyes are fixed on it. I'm just trying to see where the other lionesses are. I don't have a visual of them at the moment. Oh, there's heavy heads getting a heavy head again to the right there. Oh, very heavy head. Watching the vultures here. If you can hear a hissing, almost like a shushing sound, that's the vultures behind me. You can see they're quite interested in the vultures. But will it be enough to keep those eyes open? I don't think so. He's watching the vultures. If we come out, let's just have a look at these vultures. There's some relatively interesting stuff happening that the lion cubs are watching. Oh, they've just stopped now, but they might do it again. So they're just up here next to me. And there's a bit of an argument going on about perching spots. So is that a great, there we go. Oh, there we go, vulture fight. So who gets the best spot? Oh, this could get interesting. One of the bigger white-backed, is that a Cape vulture? Looks like it could be a Cape vulture. I can't really see through the bush at the moment. It's bigger than a white-backed vulture and pale. Has landed next to the hooded vultures. Now, if one of the lions who's gone off to chase something sees that on the ground, I'm not sure whether it's a Cape vulture. I can't really see through the thicket yet. But it could be Cape vultures around here very easily. So they're slightly paler and slightly bigger than the white-backed vulture. Joan was actually asking for a Cape vulture to add to her bird list. And they are sometimes a bit more brave. And they are slightly bigger. I think we might get a few more vultures coming onto the ground, and that could cause the lioness to chase them. So let's just watch what's happening here. Okay, let's just see. Now, what we're looking for is if that Cape vulture opens its wings, it's got much lighter underneath the wings, and also it's got a line of little black dots there. And a yellow eye. Can we see the eye color yet? It's one of the diagnosed features. It could just be a pale white back. I don't see a yellow eye, do you, Dave?
No, it looks black.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Where is it? Come on, show us your head. There we go. It's a white-backed vulture. It's a very pale white-backed vulture. Okay. Now the cubs are actually just watching what all the vultures are up to. So it's just watching the vultures. It's like Lion Cub TV vultures. Okay, so I'm just going to be on the game drive for a little bit. Actually, I'll do it just now. But Deanna would like to know, what is the hierarchy with feeding between lion cubs and lionesses? Is there fighting? So what happens is the lionesses will actually fight with each other quite aggressively over the carcass. Now, a big carcass like this, and they've all full, it's not such a big issue. But if it had been a small carcass like an impala or something, they will definitely fight. Oh, vultures flying in there. They just keep landing in this tree next to us and then coming down onto the ground where the stomach contents are. Okay. So, Dana, with the cubs, they'll be fighting amongst the cubs between each other, but at this age, the lionesses might snarl at them, might give them a bit of a tap, but there's unlikely to be any serious aggression while they're that little. Still watching the vultures. Now, I can only see 3 cubs. I'm sure the other 3 are around somewhere, and I think we've got 2 different sets of cubs here. We've got the slightly bigger ones and then the little fluff balls. Now, as I said, Taxon seems to think, and he could be right, I mean, we haven't had the best view of them just yet, and long enough, that this could be the 3rd set of Nkuhuma cubs, and that lioness who was mating might have had cubs that whole time. But we're only going to be able to find that out in the next little while. Let's go back to the vultures. There's quite a lot happening there. You can see the lions looking at them. So, oh, a tawny eagle's just landed as well, right at the top. So, eagles also definitely not scared of a bit of scavenging. So, a tawny eagle. But the vultures on the ground are starting to fight a bit. We can see we've got 2 different species on the ground there, and Mohammed in Doha is saying, is it common to have multiple species of vultures around the carcass? Oh, there's one about to land in, Dave, just stay there, boom. Not the most graceful landing. And Mohammed, it is. We've seen 3 different species of vulture. There's only 1 vulture species left that we get in this area that we haven't seen just yet, and that is the white-headed vulture. It's also the rarest vulture species. That's a hooded vulture there. Now, if any more vultures come down, it might tempt the lions into... Okay, here it comes. So, watch her. As I said, the vultures, just like hyenas, they irritate lions. So she might, because they're starting to make a noise, they're starting to flap around, she might see them off. Is that amber eyes? I think it is. Oh, is she going to chase them? Maybe not. So I've just heard that the other 3 lionesses are actually... Here she goes. Here she goes. There you go. So not the most energetic chase, but back in the tree. Back in the tree, you terrible creatures. There we go. So at Treehouse Dam, there are actually 3 lionesses at the moment. They might be going to look in that little hole where the elephants dig water. Oh, she's scent marking after her successful chase of the vultures. And she showed them. There you go. You can see that's not one of the lactating females. I go back to the carcass. I think they might be heading for water, the other 3 lionesses. Now it is getting quite dark, so I don't want to spend... Oh, we got some nice fighting going on. Talk about, and you can see where the word pecking order comes from when you watch vultures. Let's see if they still continue to peck each other. There we go. And of course those beaks could do some serious damage. They're able to open up carcasses. I really love the way vultures move. It is quite comical. Now, James is wondering how long it takes a juvenile vulture to get its adult. There we go, here we go. Peck, peck, peck. The adult. Now, there's plenty of room for both of them, but obviously it is quite interesting. And those are white-backed vultures. So I'm just going to be on the Game Drive channel for a second. There we go. Yeah, I was the bomber's at Chelepan junction with Weaver's Nest. So we probably are northeast of those 3 mofos, so they could be heading back here. There's the tawny eagle. So it sounds like those other 3 lions are on their way back. Oh, there we go. As you say that, another lioness appears out of the bush. Now maybe it's the 4th one or the 5th one. So there's 3 that Elvis is following, and this one's just appeared out of the bush. Stopping at the exact same spot for a sniff of the scent mark, it looked like. It's one of the lactating females. She's calling. So she's probably calling for the little... Oh, here we go. All the lions are arriving back, but let's just stick on the one who's calling, because she might want to call those 3 other cubs. There's one of her cubs to the left of us, and who's responding. There's other moms, so now we know who the 2 moms are from the calling. We've got a mom either side. She's going to walk right past us, right next to Dave. Dave, you better behave yourself. Let's come this side. There's going to be either a fight or a greet. Oh, you could hear the growling of the female as soon as she started moving towards that carcass. Oh, it's such a cute noise. Let's just come off to the left where the cubs are. So the cub on the far right, the There we go. That one belongs to the new ones that we don't know too well, or that we've seen for the first time today, I think. So confusing. So many cubs. Can you guys hear that? Isn't that awesome? I'm just going to keep quiet while there's a bit of calling going on. Oh, they'll stretch. Let's see where that other lion is. She went behind Dave. I can't see her at the moment. Bite! Bite each other. So 2 lionesses have come back. Well, we actually see quickly to the adult female. She was trying to pull the buffalo away from the other lioness, even though the other lioness isn't really feeding it. She got it stuck. Oh, there we go. Look at that. So I can just hear the other lioness calling very softly behind me somewhere. I can't see her. I think she's going to lie down quite close to the cubs there. There we go. Flop. Oh, hi, Ma. So, look at them clambering all over Mom. One's already started suckling. Oh, isn't that just too precious? Bite you. I'm trying to drink here. Oh, we can hear the noise again. Oh, yeah, 2 are suckling now. The third's got a toy, a buffalo, piece of buffalo dung, and he's throwing around. That didn't taste very nice. Watching the vulture fly up off the ground. Playing with the buffalo dung. He's killing it. So all these little games that little cubs play are very important, and that's practice for later on in life. And you don't have to teach a lion how to hunt. It's got that knowledge instinctively. They are the supreme African predator. Thirsty little tykes. So Haley's noticed that the little lion cubs are quite spotty on their heads and on their legs, and she's wondering why. Well, Haley, when the mothers leave them to go off hunting, it's to help. Oh, listen. Hyena's calling. Whoop. Wonder if it's calling for backup. Sorry, Haley, I got sidetracked by that hyena calling. Haley's wondering why they're spotty, and it's when they're young, it's to help with their camouflage, because the mom has to leave them. Oh, he's got the buffalo dung. The mothers have to leave them while they go hunting, so when that spottiness helps break up their outline, and so they can hide better from other predators. Having great fun with that piece of buffalo dung. Here comes the other mom. Chat, Elvis. So there's 3 more Mampimpan that side. Oh, they're coming. Oh, yeah, they come. They're not very relaxed, these ones. Here they come. Here come the little guys. See, just sitting patiently pays off. Oh, the noises. Look at their little ones. They've just keep on the adult to the right. There might be a bit of a. And no, she's lying down. Don't worry. I thought she was going for the carcass. There might be a bit of an argument if she had. Oh, look at these little ones. Making all this. Oh, you can hear the other ones feeding on mom behind the bush quite aggressively. Now those are little lion growls you can hear. Oh, the 5th lioness looks like she's stalking hyena. So there were 3 hyena around. And I've just spotted her just up ahead here. She's moving that way, but she's down in a stalk. I've lost sight of her now. I'm just trying to see if we can pick up the movement. She was moving through here. And her ears were flat. Can't see her now. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that area. Look at that. I wonder where the 3rd one is. Is it around somewhere? trying to remember from seeing that female mating. Did she have a wound on her left or right side? No, that was Amber Eyes who had that. Oh, look at that. Just too cute. So fluffy. Oh, here comes that last lioness. So all 5 lionesses are accounted for. There she comes. Now, Zoe is asking, have the Nkuhumas had successful litters before these? They've had quite a few, Zoe. One of the adult lionesses is the last successful litter, and of course then there was Junior as well. And see, there's a 3rd female with suckle marks. The conundrum continues. Poof. So there could still be more cubs around. So it is getting quite dark. We're not going to stay here for too much longer. Isn't it wonderful to be able to enjoy these almost sort of secret moments in lion life? And it is incredible that we are sitting here and you guys are watching tiny little lion cubs suckle at the exact same time as we are. And in the middle of the bush, we're able to bring you a live safari. Oh, there's a little... Oh, just come. There's a little one coming through towards the carcass. Not sure if it wants to feed. Looks like it's smelling something. Hi, Kim. Kim is in sunny Florida. Kim would like to know, would the female cubs stay with the pride even when they're adults? I think it's scared of the buffalo. There we go. And Kim, yes, they will. So the only time females will leave their natal pride is when they get very, very big, sort of over 25, 30 individuals, and it becomes difficult to provide enough food. Then the pride splits normally. But at a pride this size, the female cubs will stay with their moms and aunts. Little guy sneaking off back to the drainage. Oh no, he stopped for a lie down. Oh, she's going to pull the carcass. three little hooligans attacking the buffalo's ear. Biting its nose, biting its ear. They're not really feeding on the meat, they're just playing. Isn't this just wonderful to sit here and watch these little balls of cuteness? Oh, look at those claws coming out. Using them to hook. Of course, those claws are going to become very deadly weapons in a few years' time. Who knows, maybe we have some of the future buffalo hunting experts in the making. So we heard that hyena calling. I wonder if it's going to be calling for backup. But so, as I was saying, on average there's 5 adult lionesses here. So you'd need at least 15 hyenas, possibly a few more, to be able to push them off this carcass. It's trying to have a scratch and still play with that buffalo nose. It's decided the nose is far more entertaining. And the two little ones who are not used to cars are literally fascinated by us. They're just sitting watching Elvis and myself. You can see they're a little bit younger. I think Saxon might be right. They are a little bit younger than the other three, but I don't know if they are as young as those ones that were Buffelshoek Dam. It's going to be really fascinating to see what happens. Oh, look at that. That is just so, so wonderful. Little fluff in there. Even though Mom's right there, they're not used to all the hustle and bustle of the pride. You can see those three have been with the pride for a bit longer. Quite comfortable around a buffalo carcass. So we're going to leave shortly, as it's getting a bit dark and we don't want to be hanging about here. Oh, let's just see where that female goes. If she goes to start feeding, we could get a little bit of aggression from the other female. But I think she's just going to lie down. Isn't this just splendid? So I said we're going to leave, we're going to close the sighting, and we'll have to come and see what's happened overnight. First thing tomorrow morning. So while we leave the Nkuhumas to, oh, just wait 1 second, what happens now? Enjoy their buffalo. Is there going to be one last little argument before we leave? What's going to happen? The little cubs are actually feeding rather than playing now, and you hear them growling at each other. Right, let's leave the Nkuhumas to their dinner, and while we do that and navigate out of this area, and let's go see what Jamie's been up to.
I've been patiently sitting with a batelier that I was most desperate to show you, but unfortunately, and absolutely rightly so, the cubs took 100% precedence. We were with that batelier right up until 30 seconds ago when it flew away. So such is life, and we are moving on to search for other things. It's even for a batelier, it is getting a little bit dark. So while Brent has been luxuriating in the joy that is a cub sighting with little lions crawling everywhere, Jandra and I have been entertaining ourselves. Well, we've been trying to look for things to show you, but we've also been entertaining ourselves trying to mimic the different animal sounds. We started out with the monkey alarm call, and Jandra does similar to my monkey alarm call. It could either be a monkey or a Donald Duck impression, and you're never quite sure what exactly is going to come out. You know that... Oh. No, you see, there was Donald Duck again. Oh no, it's all gone. It's all gone wrong. And then we were just thinking about all of the other really difficult animals to do an impression of. I mean, the pearl-spotted owlet is really easy because it's a whistle. And the Coqui Franklin's relatively easy. The batelier is the last one, the sound. And then we got onto the more difficult ones, like the African fish eagle, which I absolutely cannot do. See, that I don't even know what that's meant to be. Now, all in all, we've come to the conclusion, Jandra and myself, that neither of us should give up our day job in order to become animal imitators, and that award goes 100% to Brian, the cameraman who is, of course, on leave at the moment and hopefully having a joyous time in Johannesburg. So no more animal impressions for us, Jandra. Sorry to say. And it's amazing, there are some guys that can do amazing things with animal impressions. Oh, wow! Sorry, I was about to sneeze. So, Elaine, thank you so much for your info that you sent through. And I didn't even begin to imagine that there were that many birds. I knew that there were lots of birds in South Africa. I didn't realize how many there were in the Kruger National Park. So Elaine has sent through some info on the number of birds in the Kruger National Park. 851 apparently recorded species, including 9 that have been introduced. 858, including 9 that have been introduced and 51 that are endemic. So thank you so much, Elaine. And that was to answer Michael's question, who asked about 31, being shouted at by Jerry. 31 endemic. Sorry, Jerry. Sorry, Elaine. Sorry, everybody. 31 endemic. I was going to say, 51 is a lot of endemic species. So 31 endemic, and that is in answer to Michael's question about how many recorded bird species there are in the Kruger National Park. Isn't that incredible? Your chances of seeing 851, as I said here, 58, sorry, seeing that many bird species here is relatively unlikely, since we just don't have that same level of diversity as we have throughout the entire Kruger. But it does make you realize why the Kruger National Park is such a place for the avid birders to flock to. Ha, get it? To flock to, that was unintentional, in order to find all of the birds of their dreams. And there are some really incredible birds. I mean, Brent and myself went up to Pafuri in March, and we saw some really interesting sights, even just the trumpeter hornbill, which I've seen many, many times before, but it's just one that we never ever see down here. So Michael, I do hope that you're still watching and that you got that little update from Elaine. And Elaine, thank you very much, really appreciate it. And I won't ever forget the number 858. It was 858, right? Yes, 858. And if I ever forget it, Jerry will shout at me. So 858 birds recorded in the Kruger National Park. Awesome. I found out something today, sorry, and I'm going to go do some more research into it, but it's something really, really interesting. And I'm actually not going to move this land snail shell. And the reason is it looks like there might, I don't know, there's potentially something living underneath it or in it. But I discovered something about these land snail shells that I never knew before. The other day we had a hole drilled that I thought might have been made by a wasp species that had been sort of, it looked like it had been drilled into a land snail shell. Now I found out from Taylor, actually, it was from Taylor, that the fireflies, sorry I forgot the word there for a second, fireflies will actually be the ones responsible for parasitizing land snails. I had no idea that was the case. Really, really interesting. They lay their eggs and the larvae actually will parasitize the land snail. How interesting is that? I don't know exactly how it works. Something that I still want to look into and do some research on. I mean, we didn't see any fireflies, did we, in summer? I don't think we did. I don't remember seeing any fireflies or glowworms in summer. It's just one of those seasons where I think it was just too dry here, although it was my first summer in the northern Sabi Sands, so I don't know whether or not they are commonly seen here. We used to get them all the time where I used to work, and they're amazing creatures. That chemical reaction going on inside their abdomens to create the blinking lights. And I think fireflies is something that I would say most of our audience will have experienced at some point in their life, seeing them. Truly incredible creatures. So there you go, a little piece of information I did not know about fireflies or land snails, that the larvae of the land snails, the larvae of the fireflies will parasitize giant land snails. That's what I love about being out here. You always learn something new, and also everybody has something new to offer. Everybody has their own unique knowledge, which is why it is such a privilege to work with a diverse team of guides. Basically, you can pick their brains. And now we head into the night. Jandre says he feels like an aardvark sighting. Can you smell the potato bush, Jandre? So as we go through here, let me just look for it. Oh, sorry, Wendy. Somewhere in this dip, there is a tree called a potato bush. And there's a wonderful story written by Veronica Root. Veronica Root has written some amazing books on the different tree species. I can't see it, and it is actually quite a tricky tree to see. There's a tree called a potato bush that is called a potato bush because it genuinely, the flowers really, really smell like cooking potatoes. It's a wonderful smell. It makes you immediately look around for whoever might be cooking. And there's a story from Veronica Root, who has a fascination with all things plant-based. She's written some amazing books of the books of Botswana, of the plants of Botswana and the flowers and so on. And apparently when she first started doing the research into these different species, and she was in Botswana, she stopped and she asked an old local man where the cooking potatoes were. She obviously didn't know associated with the plant. And he sort of laughed and shook his head, but obviously couldn't speak English, and just pointed at a tree. And she convinced herself that he didn't understand what she was asking. And off she went on her way, and it was only later that she discovered that he'd been pointing to the potato bush because it smells like cooking potatoes. It's one of those uniquely African scents. And it's one that I always associate with summer, but you do get the odd one that flowers. They actually can flower pretty much almost all year round. So now we go off searching for nocturnal creatures. As I said, Jean-Andre feels an aardvark sighting. I'm still on a porcupine mission. I keep driving the places where I've seen porcupines before. No, I mean porcupine tracks, that is. No luck. I've yet to see a porcupine on Djuma, but I feel as though our luck will change. And when things start to happen in the future, not giving too much away, not giving much away at all, but perhaps there will be opportunities in future to explore the nocturnal life of the bushveld in a little bit of greater depth than we're able to do now. Hello, Impala. Let's turn my lights off. Oh goodness. Lots of Impala. And funnily enough, for James Dungan, no, not as far as I know. I don't think that the potato bush is, any part of the potato bush is actually edible, or at least in any way nutritious for us as human beings. I don't think it's toxic. As far as I know, it's not toxic, but it won't provide you with much apart from maybe a little bit of moisture that it will have stored in its root system. But other than that, not really. There's not much actually edible to it, and that smell of the flowers attracts certain species. I think it's certain species of moth that are attracted to that smell, that fertilize, pollinate the other potato bushes, but might be other insects as well. But nope, there's nothing that tastes like potato or is in any way related to any kind of what we know of as potato plants. And of course, potatoes are essentially tubers underneath the ground. The other reason we're here, by the way, on the southern boundary, is I'm now desperately curious as to where Karula really is, because we usually have quite a good idea. She disappears for every couple of days, but most of the time we know, okay, she's crossed to the south, or she's gone in our direction, she's somewhere here. But it's been a while, it's been at least 3 days since we last saw a fresh Karula track, probably more. So she's around. I just get very curious as to where she might be, because we've got very used to knowing where she is, approximately where she is. We don't know exactly, but we do get an idea as to what area she's walking in. Light's very difficult for tracking, but so far I haven't seen any sign of her coming across the road. It's actually quite a nice idea. Just stop a bit further on and just listen to how the sounds of the bush have changed since the rain. I know there's unfortunately power lines affecting our view, but just listen. lots and lots of cicadas and crickets all of a sudden. The bush recently, there you go, the bush recently has been almost silent at night in winter. You know, odd cicada every now and again. Now it feels as though it's coming back to life. It's just those few drops of moisture that we experienced. So whilst it's not enough to fill up the dams or change the food situation, the animals are still happy to have had it. Beautiful. Songs of the bush at night. We're going to carry on along the southern boundary to see what we can see in the last few minutes of the sunset safari. And while we do that, let's head back across to Brent and find out how he plans on spending the last few moments.
Well, as Jamie's saying, we do not know where Karula is at the moment, and I am taking a little gander down towards Gallagher Pan. When we haven't seen leopard for a while, it's always a good spot to come check at this time of the day. And Nkuhuma might come here for a drink, Tingana, Sindile, or even Queen Karula herself. So it's going to be interesting to see. Also, I'm going to be able to fetch my camera trap. So I'm going to take it down, see what we manage to get over the day and night, and see if it's worthwhile keeping it up in that spot. I actually think what I should do in the future is bring out spare cards so I can leave the trap up and just take out the memory card. There we go, at the pan. Oh, no leopards. Nothing, in fact. It's a very, very beautiful evening. It's got quite a bit cooler. As you can see, jackets are on. Let's look from the tracks around here. Let's hope. Oh dear. That's not good. Oh no, it is there. Oh, I made an elephant and stood in the camera trap. Here we go. There it is. I'll just go get it quickly. And I'll see how many pictures we got. But we're going to have to wait till tomorrow to see what's on the card. What do you think, Dave? What do we got? Hyena, I think, is a good bet. I'm just trying to look at any tracks, but it's rained, so we don't even know. I know for sure it's got me. I have to tie it up quite so it doesn't do that. We can catch whatever might go past. I think we might get a civet there. I'm really hoping for something.
Using audio?
Oh, sorry, I think it's my facing, but I'm really hoping for something like caracal. Wouldn't that be cool? So there's probably going to be a few pictures of us. So let's see. It tells me how many pictures have been taken. Maybe some Ellies during the day. There's only 24, so not that much came past here last night. So I think there's at least probably 10 of us. So we're going to have to wait. It's so exciting. That's one thing I do love about camera traps, is you never know what you're going to get on them. Maybe even Queen Karula. Okay. Now, tomorrow morning, I will be taking some time off from the bird quiz. because Jamie and I are going to swap vehicles. And what that means is this is the bird in camera. So maybe we'll see if Jamie can get 50 birds on the camera, and then we'll do the same the next time we're on Rusty. Oh, there's a little duiker sleeping there. Got excited, thought we might have a genet or something, but unfortunately not. Now, as Jamie mentioned, it's incredible how the insects have come to life after that little bit of rain. Now, this is always a good area for bush babies. So hopefully we're going to find one, or maybe even two. They'll be very happy that the insects are out. One of their favorite foods is insects. Wasn't it absolutely wonderful spending time with those little cubs? And there's a conundrum to be solved, is that did that mating female actually still have her cubs? Because there are definitely 3 lactating lionesses still. So are the little ones from Buffalo's Hook still in the drainage systems? I think it might need a bit of serious investigation. And it's going to be very interesting if we get there and there are only 4 lionesses there. I thought I saw an eye in the bottom of that bush. Sometimes you just take your light down like that and put it up. Whatever it is, it's scurried off. Now, Jean says, were there only 5 cubs there? Jean, I thought I saw 6, but I was just quite excited, so there could have only been 5. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait till tomorrow. Okay, now, Dave, you're not going to believe me, but if you zoom in the center of that spotlight, let's have a look. So I need to watch monitor. Maybe if I move it a little bit. Okay, so let me just try to see. Okay, right where the main brightness of the spotlight is in the middle. You're not going to believe me, but it's a bit small. There's a little wolf spider. Can't see him now, he's moved. I'll keep a lookout, but certain spider species' eyes shine at night. The wolf spiders being one of them, and they can get quite big. That one was a bit small. Maybe I can find one, a bigger one to show you. There's one out in the open, even though it is a little one. Okay, center of the light. You see him? Okay, I'm just trying to... Okay, so you see that little open patch of ground? There we go. There we go. Up a little bit. See, center frame now? There's the spider. There we go. Look at him. Isn't that incredible? Down a bit. There we go. See him now? There we go. So I can actually see their eyes shining at me. So there's little wolf spiders. Incredible little predators that scurry around on the ground, hunting for other spiders, insects, and even some of the really big species of wolf spider have been recorded catching mice and birds. That is definitely not one that's going to catch a mouse or a bird. Probably about the size of a penny. Let him carry on in his hunting. Anyway, there's always something to look at, and if you know where to look and if you're prepared to just look that little bit deeper. I wonder what other nocturnal wonders are going to be out here. So we're going to go check one last little bush baby hot spot, and once we've gone through there, if we have no success, we'll send you back to Jamie for the last little bit of the show. But it has been absolutely splendid spending time with you out here in the African bush on a live African safari, and I really do love being able to share my passion and love for that Africa with all of you out there at home. And don't forget, we'll be sharing love and passion about the African bush again tomorrow morning from 6:30 a.m. Central African time to 9:30. So no bush baby in my bush baby hotspot. So while we continue on, see if we can find anything in the last few minutes of drive. Let's go see what Jamie's got.
I really hope I have a hyena for you. The other right, the other left.
Straight in front of you?
Got it. There you go. Oh, don't go, hyena. I was really desperate to try and get here before the hyena disappeared, because we've had hardly any hyena sightings. And I would love to know which particular individual this happens to be. Our hyenas have moved their den site away from where they have been in the past, and they've left us bereft of their company. I wonder, can we do this? Can we get round to the other side? How long have we got before the end of the...
3 minutes.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Chandra. Okay, let's do this. Come on. Challenge accepted. Is there a tree behind me? Good.
Go.
I can't see anything with the presenter light on behind me. So, you know, it's all a risk. Let's go see who it is. I'm desperate. Being desperate for hyena sightings, for some spotty love. Oh, 3 minutes. Can we do it? We can try. Down to the wire. 2 minutes, 30. Oh no. Hold on, everybody. I'm doing this one-handed with a spotlight in my other hand. We might die, Chandra. You trust me? Well, we are on a very narrow damn wall, and I'm driving with one hand. And hold on. Go, we're going in second. We're going in second. Whee! Where's this hyena now? Come on, hyena. Oh, careful, Impala. Careful, don't panic. Don't panic. Hyena! Come on. Oh, 1 minute 40 to find the hyena. Okay, let's slow down here. I think it's going to come up. If I calculate its trajectory, it should pop out, should have popped out somewhere here. Oh, the anticipation is killing me. Hyena. Come on. Come on. Tick, tick, tick goes the clock as I scoot around. Oh no. Oh no, it must have a secret path through the thick stuff, because it definitely isn't here. I'm trying to listen for its footsteps, because hyenas are noisy walkers. We're not going to do it. We're not going to manage it. I'm sorry. We tried. We have actually come to the end of our... We have come to the end of our sunset safari. So a big thank you to Jean-Andre for all of his fantastic camera work, as well as to Jerry and Chelsea and I think Rebecca also in final control. Most importantly, a big thank you to all of you across the globe for joining us here on our sunset safari. We look forward to seeing you once again first thing tomorrow morning. In the meantime, have a wonderful day or evening. Bye-bye, everybody.